Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome and thank you so much for joining us on another wonderful Wednesday on the eve of a holiday weekend. And it's good for many reasons. And if you ever know it, been on a watercraft in a long time, well, we're going to give you a reason to come watch and see why you can be a part of CIWA. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome and thanks again for joining us. And it's good always to be able to recognize that in our community we provide much for our people, both as entertainment and enjoyment, also for education and edification. But sometimes to monetize and make the material, benefit flow through the society to just more than one. So, gents, when we can combine fun, with family, and everybody can come away understanding that we have a great landscape. Wow. Underwater, no better place. Well, welcome so much, and let's get a chance to talk about the Cayman's, watercraft, right? Association. Those two little things that we put on the skis and we just have some fun. All right, Mr. Seth, I was thinking as a volunteer we ask you first, but maybe the chairman is always better to be on the board. Is not, right, Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman.
We'll let Corey take it away.
We take it away. All right, man. Well, listen now. Mr. Miller, we want to start with you first. Welcome, man. Introduce yourself, then Seth, you, then, we let, the superstar draw to the table. But
Yeah, sure. So Corey Miller, official title is Vice Chairman of the Board. Here with Seth, I guess we can continue with introductions before we get into the...
Yes,
Seth,
please.
yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Seth Watler, former racer and volunteer for the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Since been volunteering here the last couple of years and been racing since we started in 2010. And that's me.
That's you. I love it. And I'm hoping that through this, and we get a chance to get people to appreciate that it's not just fun. There's a lot that goes into the preparation. I would say, I would liken it to the Formula One driver. We can watch and we can see it, but they have to train mentally and physically. And you're in something for a space of time, you better have all the skill sets. Mental focus, the physical endurance. But that's just me. Renee, welcome. Proper introduction.
My name is Renee Ortega. I'm a current racer and a full-time admirer of the CIWA program.
Okay.
I love what they do for the island. Give so much opportunity to kids, not just to race here, but possibly, race overseas. Just really love it.
Yeah, and I think whenever we think overseas, many of us probably quick to think of Havasu, but we can take beyond that. Right, Corey?
Yeah, well, actually, Havasu is back on the board for this year. That's our goal, is to send at least two riders sponsored by the association to the IJSBA World Finals in Lake Havasu in October. So we're working towards that, and part of what Seth in particular has been really focused on from the track side is getting the track prepared to sort of mimic the same track that the guys would see or girls would see in Havasu, so that they're ready to go once they get there. So it's been a lot of work behind the scenes, and Seth in particular, I think he's one of those that is the Mr. Behind the Scenes guy, and it's the association really appreciates what Seth does for the guys to go out there and have a great race. So we're all lined up to have a few riders representing Cayman Islands at World Finals this year.
And Corey, that is something that I think increasingly we need to recognize how important it is. You can have the competitors, however they define, however the landscape, whatever the sport. Is it a pitch, or is it just a patch of grass? Is it a court, or otherwise? Mm-hmm. But having others involved to ensure that the spectators are enjoying what is unfolding. So Seth, from that behind the scenes, both from you say a former rider, but I think like an educator, once an educator, always an educator, once a rider, always a rider.
Trying to get back out there, But yeah, so my part mainly is I have picked up from those who will probably know Mr. Don Patrick. He's kind of headed our course layout, safety, if you want to say, head racetrack kind of guy. Basically since the inception of CIWA. Mm-hmm. Within the last couple of years, I've raced for Don for quite a long time. Probably some people know that story, right? Some may not, which that's fine as well. Yeah. I've learned a lot from Don, and figure and know that safety is our number one priority. Yeah. So from the background of things, it comes with time in the course, having buoys certain apart from each other, having where there may be certain incidents that, may happen on the course. We try and eliminate those as much as possible. Yeah. Racing is racing. A lot of the guys will say rubbing is racing. I like to say racing is racing. Yeah. Because as least rubbing as we can do, the better, right? Yeah. For everyone. But we have the fire department on board. We have Coast Guard there. I have 4 2-5 guys on the water at all times during that day. A couple with pull sleds and a couple with a lot of experience when it comes to the water and being vigilant about races going on and people's safety being at hand. So we've had, just on my side of things, we've had a marshal meeting that ensures all of my guys know exactly what they're doing, where they need to be at any given time. It is a lot going on the race course, so from time to time, things get a little hectic, but it's all about our side knowing exactly where everybody needs to be and what they need to be doing. And from the course setup, it's like Corey mentioned, we're trying to mimic at this point the IGSBA World Finals in Lake Havasu. They have a pretty big track, so we kind of mimic the shape of it, but slightly smaller, just to kind of get the guys knowing where they're going and getting used to being on something so complex, because it's, we're working with 30 plus buoys here on the course. Yeah. So not only do the marshals need to know what's going on, but the riders have to know what's going on for everyone's safety, including their own. Right.
And this makes it, as a spectator, much more enjoyable, because then any game that you watch, and if you understand the rules, football, there's a bunch of people on the pitch, there's this little round thing that they're chasing, but you don't know which direction they're supposed to go in. and all of a sudden people start to cheer because the ball seems to have gone to the play, but it's behind this little net, and you don't know where that is, you have no enjoyment.
Right.
And I say that to ask as we come back from the break, just initially help us to understand some of the rules of the game, the engagement, the turtle buoys. But you mentioned, pulse lead, rubbing, and this is mass. We want people to mix it up. And then you talked about 2-5 guys and so on, right? What in racing, what's rubbing?
So from my personal experience, I've been in a couple of my own close encounters. Thankfully, just to mention, CIWA has never had an extreme accident somewhere where someone is hurt to the point where we're carrying them off on a stretcher or anything of the sort. Thankfully, it's a case where it happens quite a bit in racing in general. Crashes are inevitable.
Especially when you go into a turn, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I mean, the whole jet ski thing, people may think that it's all fun and games, right? But it's a as Renee will get into, it's a very challenging thing when you're dealing with the water. You're going one way and the water's going the next. It can be a handful. But just with saying that, it's like you say, safety is priority, and it's having our riders also know this is not a game. You will get close instances where two bikes may come together. The jet skis are equipped with rub rails, which, in the sense of racing, are meant for that. But it's a case where we want to let the guys know as well, listen, it came on small. We're all very close friends and family for the most part. We want to do this safe and let everybody go home at the end of the day. Right?
And it expands the enjoyment of the sport, the invitation for us to participate. And as you mentioned, Don Patrick, I think that's one of his mantras. We want a safe course. You can be as competitive, you can be as aggressive on that court. You want to go into that turn, breakneck speed, that's up to you, but you want to come out of the turn safely as well as the other riders.
Correct.
And we watch in NASCAR sometimes where, according to that, car's animated film, the guy would just check the car. We don't want that. It does happen.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, we enforce and try and enforce. Obviously, we have a full set of flags that we fly during the races. They have a bunch of different meanings. One being the blue and yellow flag. If that's being thrown at you, it means you're not in the race. Please move over. Yeah. Gives the guys a heads up. Yeah. So we try and do as much as we can on the backside to prep the guys and let the guys know, listen, something's happening. Keep eyes out,
I appreciate that. And we'll come back, Renee, we'll ask you about it because it's good to jump on a craft and enjoy it. And if you're just doing a leisure little, runabout, that's one thing. But if you're competitive, there's this safety, and then you want to constantly compete. You want to win this one, win the next one, and win internationally. Yeah. All right, but we also want to invite people to come because there's a round 3 coming up. I mean, this is in the, Ali, Frazier fight, but almost as good. Yeah. Maybe not.
Round 3.
Round 3?
This weekend.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, we're going to tell you when, where, and what you need to do to prepare. Get your sunglasses, your sunscreen, bring some coconut water because you're going to enjoy it. All right, stay tuned.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nathan McLean, Joshua Watler, Caden Green, and Ryan Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
This is Cody Scott, and I work in the water and wastewater sector. I am concerned about the vulnerability of our island's freshwater resources to climate change. Less rainfall and sea level rise affect the amount and quality of our natural freshwater. Households and the agricultural sector depend on these resources, as do our wetlands and forests. Protecting our freshwater resources is a critical priority. To learn more about the climate risks to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much, for the opportunity to sit and enjoy. And as we talk about the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association, round 3, and I'm saying 3. I spell it THRE, but it's round 3. Right, Chairman? Am I saying it wrong? Is it round 3?
That is correct. Round 3.
Round 3.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Yes,
So that means, if I'm math correct, I'll be 3/4 of the way there. Or if you're more positive, you only got 25% left to go.
Yep.
Correct.
All right. So, Mr. Miller, from that, before we ask Mr. Ortega to tell us about the riding and involvement, when is round 3? Where is it? And what are we going to expect?
Round 3 is this Sunday coming, June 30th. South Sound Dock. It's kind of our, home ground now. Actually works really well for spectators. So, pretty easy to pick up, find a spot along the boardwalk, and you can watch it from there. Racing kicks off around 11 a.m. and we usually wrap up 2-3 o'clock. Usually do two motos before lunch, take a little break for lunch, and then one moto after. So,
right. And for people who may never have watched any kind of aquatic or marine like competition. We're used to going to, say, football or basketball, and we go into an arena and watch the pitch and the players and all these things. Sailing, watercraft racing, powerboat racing, it's a little bit different. So in this case, as a spectator, what do you expect of us? What do we need to do to come to prepare? When we come there, what do we need to do?
Not much. I would say bring a chair and umbrella maybe. Can't find a spot under a tree, but there's quite a number of trees out there. Usually where we have the course set up, you can see the entire course. And once the guys get started racing, they usually leave from. In this case, we're actually bringing back the whole shot start. So they'll be starting from the beach, heading out sort of towards the reef, do a left-hand turn, and it'll kind of be in general a loop circuit. Obviously going through buoys. So once you kind of see the first lap or two go, you usually kind of get a sense of where the course is and the direction. Because usually it is a bit difficult from shore to see the course per se. But once you see the skis out there, sort of kind of making their way out, you'll get a pretty good idea of where the course is, where the buoys are, and where
once
they
you
turn.
see the first circuit, you understand.
Yeah, and it's the same course, and just the only thing that changes is the number of laps. So
Right.
I think we started around 4 or 5 laps, and then it goes up from there up until I think the pros do like 9 laps for their last moto.
Yeah. It's a good course because I'm just visualizing it from the road. We're looking out, to the horizon. Just before the reef, you're in there. You're up and down. You're round and round.
Yeah. Like I said, it's to me that there's thousands of viewing spaces. You can even pull up in your car and view from your car if you want to see one race. We have food trucks out there. So yeah, you don't really need to bring much.
Come spend the afternoon. It is fun. I mean, if you like being around water, you get a little sun, pick up your vitamin D. That's that. No extra cost. That's good.
Exactly.
So Seth, before we ask Renee to jump in, you want to share anything before I?
I mean, from my side, just we want everyone to come out. It's Family Fun Day. We're gonna keep this as safe and as fast as possible. And from our side, we just want to see the spectators come out. We are working on incorporating like an actual beginners class. We run a beginners class right now, but we actually want to run where we can take the younger kids, 15, 16 years old, just being legal to get on a jet ski and maybe do some time trial stuff. It's probably going to be more geared toward next year because we need a ski for that and a couple little things to sort out. But our main goal here is get the young guys out, keep as many of them as we can off the street, and let's introduce some new guys for 2025. We got a lot of big things coming, a lot of things going on behind the scenes with, like we mentioned, Havasu. We have some guys even racing and competing in the P1 circuit this year that travel back and forth. So there's big things going on for us. It's been a trial, but what isn't, right? So
nothing good's coming easy, man.
Yeah,
you got to work towards it.
Exactly. And so from my side, just that we want to see everybody come out. We know there is KMAS this weekend, and so you guys, that's tradition for us, right? But save some of the partying for Sunday. We got an event going on Sunday as well. So
come recover on Sunday.
Yeah, a little, some coconut
way,
water and a foot in the sand, and we'll be good for Monday, Tuesday.
There you go, man. Bring your sunglasses, look good, watch the craft, But I want to, with that, because you set us up nicely to ask, Renee, riding, there's always a level of sort of thought process for part of some. I would want to say a perception, and then with you, what attracted you to it? I mean, was there anything in particular?
So really,
just grab that base now, and just pull that in closer. See that boy? He's not a buoy. Better, huh?
Yeah, just stay away from.
Yeah, you see, he's one of our good guys that doesn't destroy all of our stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Hang on, you sure it's him? Because I saw the picture.
He was a little close.
I got my jet ski from my dad as a birthday present when I was 17, and after that, I think he was just, we just go out, me and my sister, just a leisure craft, having fun. And then my dad said, "You ever heard of, the Jet-A-Round Cayman?" I said, "No," because I was too young. I never really knew about it. And then he said, "Well, you're racing." And then next thing you know, a month later, I was on the water next to these 90, 80 mile an hour crafts, just scared out of my heart, just holding on for dear life. And from there on, I realized that I needed to do this some more. It was fun.
It's fun. Huh?
Yeah.
And then there are those who think you just get on and you ride and that's it. Is that it, or there's more?
There's a little bit more, especially for Jet-A-Round. Your forearms do get really cramped. Especially
I only got 2 arms though. What do you mean 4 arms?
Yeah, they get super cramped, and especially at the first stop, you kind of have to peel your fingers off your handlebar, and it's terrible. You feel it the next day. You can barely hold a glass of water.
Yeah.
It's
but you feel it in your thighs as well.
Oh yeah,
your
thighs,
buttocks,
knees,
your core,
everywhere.
Okay. So understanding that's why I watch from the shore. Just kidding. There are people who don't appreciate that. I would say riding a horse, racing in Formula One. You have to be physically and mentally prepared and strong.
Yeah, your body and mind have to be sound for it, because you can't go out there with a bad body, because you'll make it worse, definitely. You can't end up with a bad mind, because you could hurt someone or yourself. So always got to go out there clear.
So there's discipline.
Yeah.
There's a sense of respect for you and the craft and everybody else.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is that maybe sometimes we, the adult, the parent or the general adult, don't understand that this isn't just fun. It's, yes, thankfully it's enjoyable, but this could be also financially rewarding. This could be opportunities for travel. And yet, for some reason, the thing that we embrace elsewhere, we discourage and deny in our own space. Now, Seth, you might be the face of the next UQ cover, but I'm not sure. But with that in mind, isn't this an opportunity for us to embrace both from the tourism perspective, but from, I don't know, organizational management, from the notion of being skilled as a mechanic, an engineer, or some other technical aspect, building, designing, servicing, repairing, this and that, other stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's crazy because we actually have local guys right now that actually travel to work for big race teams in the U.S. Probably not knowledgeable to many people, but I mean, and then going back, our pool of talent here. Obviously, we're an island. We are surrounded by water, so if it's got water, we're generally some of the best people to be handling it. Right? It's born kind of into us, and it's a natural driven thing for most of us, I think.
So let's take today in the 21st century, right? And as we go into the break, perhaps Corbin will come back. And we go back to the 19th century, from the catboat to the early days of the steamer to our men primarily on the oil tankers. They left here with maybe some primary school education. They came back as chief engineers, captains, and everything else. That work ethic, that skill set, it's in us, but yet we allow it to be disparaged, disrespected.
Yeah.
And we have the three who are inviting, come see something that is transpiring that could take us international.
Yeah.
And yet, Seth, you referenced that we got people, I mean, I know of someone by extension who've been working and they are claimed.
Yeah.
But in our own country, we don't know their names.
Yeah. And I mean, we have multiple world champions as well, not to mention J.J. McLean, Rashad Golf,
look at GJ. I mean,
GJ. I mean, we've had so many people that have gone away and put us in a spot where we're still able to do this. And just the drive behind the younger guys coming up. I think obviously when you look up and see an idol or somebody you know is a role model, you want to be like them, right? So that's the kind of the goal is put our riders on the world championship level and have them go out there and compete with the best. And whether it's on the riding side or the mechanical side, that's the engineering and the learning and the mechanics behind this stuff is intricate. It's next level, right?
So Corey, I mean, with that, there's something that's obviously a disconnect. And if my passion is getting here, let me just try to, restrain it slightly. But we have great people. I mean, young Mr. Ortega here, his father said, "You're going to do it," because the father sees the confidence, the competence, he sees the potential.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him too much credit because he has a car that I might be able to find a little R32, but this. You have uncle and nephew, father and son.
Yeah.
You have the family connection. And it's fun, but it's also something that can be financially lucrative. And we keep thinking that if money is the driver, we don't embrace that. If reward and recognition and celebrity and fame and acclaim, and we're not embracing that, what are we doing?
I mean, I think that's probably one of the main focuses of the association right now is to get that consistency going forward so we can provide the platform and opportunities for racers, mechanics, so forth, to get that exposure and to continue to grow. I think there's just been a lot up and down in the sport, and I think, like I said, that is our focus right now, is to get that consistency and really push. We've gotten a lot of support from the Ministry of Sports now, a lot of other sponsors on board. So I think we have some really good momentum going, and we're really just trying to, like I said, get consistent exposure for the sport to grow. I think all of us that are involved, especially on the board side, volunteers are usually previous racers. So everyone within the sport has that passion. I mean, if you look at most of the riders, they don't just come out there on race day and race. I mean, every weekend they're probably out on their skis. They're working on them in the weeks. They're consistently in the sport. So it is a true passion-driven sport. And like I said, it's for us as an association to provide that platform, sort of for that passion to grow, right? So.
Right. Well, when we come back from the break, let's talk specifically about Sunday. I mean, Monday is a public holiday. Yes, much is going on, but how do we get people? Maybe they come and they say, I don't want to spend 15, 20 minutes, the next thing 4 hours later, time has passed so quickly and they're engrossed, they realize what it is. It could be your young daughter who's interested. This may be her sport. It could be your son who's thinking. It could be you yourself as, a new father.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe even a grandfather. The sport is for everybody. All right, so we can talk about it, the invitation and the cost of admission, because that was something we need to find out. All right, join us after the break. We can tell you about round 3 coming up on Sunday.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment has worked to protect and conserve the unique plants, animals, and habitats that make the Cayman Islands so special. Learn more at conservation.ky.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Just in time for summer, it's the sizzling hot appliance sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 25% off all appliances now until the end of June. That's 25% off on all appliances at Brand Source. Don't miss this opportunity to replace aging appliances and get 1 year plus warranty on new appliances. The sizzling hot appliance sale now until the end of June at Brand Source, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for details.
Miss Global International Cayman Islands Philippines 2024 will be having a community yard sale on Saturday, June 29th and Sunday, June 30th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Airport Park, 136 Dorsey Drive, Georgetown. Have items to sell? Call 939-2223 or email missglobalcayman@gmail.com to rent your space. Pre-registration is $25 CI per seller or $30 on the day of the sale. Shop and sell kids' clothing, baby items, toys, household items, used and new items as low as $1. Come out and support the Miss Global International Cayman Islands Philippines 2024 Community Yard Sale. 2 days only, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, June 29th and Sunday, June 30th at the Airport Park, 136 Dorsey Drive, Georgetown.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. And on behalf of the Cayman's Watercraft Association, gents, if I might, and you tell me that I do it correctly, if not, an invitation, a public invitation for this Sunday, the last day in this month of June, before the Monday holiday, and that's the last one until, a long time from now. Right? So come embrace it. In South Sound, maybe put the dock to good use, watch it and enjoy from the boardwalk and the lake. So, Mr. Vice Chairman, Mr. Miller?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably, my final plug is come out, and those that want to come spectate, come and enjoy, spectate. Those that would potentially want to get involved, come out and take a look. Have any questions? It's usually most of the officials are out there in red CIWA shirts. Come and talk to any one of us. See how you can help, how you can get involved. Any future riders, racers, and wanting to, same thing. Come on up, ask questions. I can promise you all the riders are friendly. You can go up and talk to the riders. Like
we don't bite.
We don't ask them, how they got started. And like Seth mentioned, we are trying to look at opportunities to make it a bit easier for those wanting to get into the sport to sort of take that first step. Because it is a right now it is perceived as a big step to sort of get into the sport. So we're looking at ways to make that step a little smaller.
Seth, to you and to Renee, based on what Corey is sharing, some sports easy to get into. I mean, you're playing football, depending on where you're playing, you can go barefoot. I don't suggest it. You don't need a good football if you just got somewhat of an area and other people. Some sports, you got to have all the equipment. If not, you can't even get to the pitch. Watercraft, I wouldn't tell you how much we pay for our first craft, but put it this way, it was under $5,000. Now they could be a bit pricey. So that may prove entry into the sport, as Corey was sharing. How do we get where people become involved, interested, see it as accessible and affordable?
Yeah, so obviously, like we're saying, we are talking about something with a motor. And like you said, they're generally not the cheapest thing nowadays to get. But, Renee is a fine example of someone coming in on the entry-level jet ski with minor experience and consistency, has proven that, he's just as good as anybody else on any given day. So it's obviously the jet skis nowadays are more expensive. We are trying to look at incorporating basically a buy-in race class, which will be your cheapest jet ski out there, which of the Sea-Doo Spark, the Yamaha, they have a Jet Blaster, the VXC. There's a couple different skis that basically have the same or very, very similar motor. And so that's your baseline of getting a jet ski. There, like you said, it could be a case where football, maybe some other sports that you can kind of get into on a slightly cheaper avenue. But the thing is with jet skis is once you get one and you get on one, generally you're probably never going to get off of it. So that's, our big difference is once again, we're an island and we all kind of born into the water. In a sense, so it's jet skis for us is where it's at, and we are, like I said, trying to introduce that beginners class, which is then a buy from manufacturer and basically come out to race, and you're on the same level as everyone else.
It's the skill of the rider, not so much the power of the craft.
Correct.
Right, okay. So with that, Renee, I think Seth set us up properly. You have, obviously shared us how you got into it. You came with just a basic craft.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, and for Sunday in particular, what do you want to share?
It might be a little scary, You've seen probably some videos on Instagram, people flying off of jet skis or getting hurt, but the safety aspect of CIWA is unmatched.
Yeah.
I mean, you fall off, they're next to you before you get your head out the water, they're next to you. There's nothing to worry about. The gear is really not all that expensive. You can just buy a regular wetsuit, like a 0.5 mil or 1 mil diving suit, wear it, a helmet from Automotive Art or anywhere, That's really all you need. The gloves and shoes, not Crocs. Heavy. And it's not that much. You could just, and you don't have to buy the craft by yourself. You could form yourself a little team, just you, your friends, your family. I use my family. My mom doesn't know anything about jet skis, but she's always, how can I help? How can I do this? You need fuel. So anybody, and you just make a little team, bundle up some money. You don't need to buy a, $17,000-$20,000 jet ski. You could, like me, 9, maybe 8.5, somewhere in there. And then you just go out. That's it.
That's it, man. And I like the fact that you emphasize the safety. And so, final thoughts, Mr. Miller. I think Don Patrick has, I don't want to say a staple. I don't want to say he's been a fixture. I don't.
Definitely.
I don't want him to make him feel, because he's we're close in age, so I'm not gonna make him feel bad. But thankfully, the consistency, the disciplined, determined, dedicated approach that he's had, and safety has always been his emphasis in riding. Now we formalize it. So, to the spectators in particular, I mean, we know that riders are there, but spectators and prospective riders. Corey, what do you want to say to them, especially as they view us on Sunday?
Yeah, like Rene said, safety is number one for us.
Yeah.
Obviously we have our rules in place. We do a practice session. The day of the race, they do a riders final meeting right before the race to go over rules, any questions. So we have our marshals team, like Rene said. They're they're trained and experienced, and if you fall off your skis, they'll be right there to help you. Obviously, the protective gear you wear, your life vest, etc., is meant to keep you afloat. But yeah, I mean, we have so many aspects that cover safety alone. It's like Renee said, it's definitely something you shouldn't worry about. Getting into the sport. So same thing for the spectators there. If incidents happen on the course, it's nothing normal to get freaked out about. It's I wouldn't say it's normal, but it's we have procedures in place, and everyone's geared to respond. So.
Indeed. I mean, you play tennis.
We have the fire service out there on standby. So yeah, we I guess the list goes on.
Exactly.
for our safety measures. So.
And thank you all. And we would like, as part of the sponsor and sort of apparatus, to be a part of your continued efforts this Sunday, and with the Coast Guard, with the fire service. We see that extended participation. So.
Yeah. And we thank you guys a lot as well. I mean, we've been kind of off the map in a sense for the last couple of years, just with back-active sponsors and exposure. But I feel like we're on the rise again. So a lot of people to thank, obviously, you guys included, right?
We're happy to do that, man. And anytime, and maybe one day, I can get Ray and a bunch of us, and we can do a similar cast. We can use our YouTube channel, CIGTV, Radio Cayman, and we can broadcast as we would a football match.
Yeah.
Watch
yeah,
it.
I mean it's in our perspective, in our view, live stream, everything. We're looking at it.
Well, we can do it for Havasu, we can do it from here. So, gents, thanks very much. Continued, success, but enjoyment, and God's willing, 11 a.m. on Sunday. For the next 5-6 hours out there, people will see great performance, great athleticism, but a great camaraderie and family fun. So thanks very much. Right?
Yep, come on out.
Thank you.
All right, this Sunday. All right, we're going to pause. When we come back, I'm going to share with you something else. But hey, you want to know what that is? We have to stay tuned.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The deadline for the next electoral register update is Monday, July 1st, 2024. Persons who are eligible to register or have changes to your name, address, or occupation are encouraged to register early ahead of the 2025 general elections. In international news, U.S. President Joe Biden has pardoned thousands of veterans who were convicted of crimes under a military law that banned gay sex for more than 60 years. The veterans were convicted under a provision of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which criminalized sodomy from 1951 to 2013. Mr. Biden described the pardon as righting a historic wrong. The U.S. Congress had repealed the portion of the code that outlawed consensual sodomy in 2013. Kenya's President William Ruto says he will withdraw a finance bill containing controversial tax hikes after deadly protests, which saw Parliament set ablaze on Tuesday. In an address to the nation, he said it was clear that Kenyans want nothing to do with the bill. I concede, he said, adding that he would not sign the bill into law. At least 22 people were killed in Tuesday's protests, according to the state-funded Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA's Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman-Brac, on the 8th day of July, 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Not only did Captain Scott work the seas for over 52 years, but he was mathematically inclined. In the early 70s, Captain Scott received his first calculator, eventually moving on to computers. After retiring from sea, Captain Scott used his knowledge of navigation, his love for mathematics, and general knowledge to write various computer programs that would impact the lives of the people of the Cayman Islands, such as payroll calculation and a program that could tell the depths at any point of the Georgetown Harbor, which would allow him to give any ship in port the coordinates to drop anchor. However, his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world and was able to track and forecast its path. To create this program, he first drew the world map by using actual coordinates from the various coastlines around the world, including the most minute coves. This information would be transmitted by his shipping mates from around the world, making him the local reliable source on storm predictions.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I gotta keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome and thanks for joining us. And for the next half hour thereabouts, at least 1:30. So my clock says 20 minutes and 41 seconds. Next, the company of the Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean, and the Acting Director at the Department of Agriculture, Mr. Brian Critchlow. Thanks very much for joining us. And I believe through you, we'll get to invite the people to understand increasingly what we're trying to achieve and how we can participate. I would say if public, and especially not just the populace, but the electorate, are not engaged, involved, informed, how can we participate? How can we make it? So, Ms. Felicia, always appreciative. You bring so much joy, enthusiasm, that it makes life that much better. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having us, Sterling. We're really excited to have this moment with your listeners, just to inform them of what's been happening and kind of just add a little bit more information into what they might have been seeing through the press release. So we've noticed that there were some outbreaks in the U.S. with avian influenza, and it's something that isn't normally captured in animals and cows, for that matter. It's normally found in birds. Unfortunately, they have had some outbreaks. Thankfully, nothing in relation to actually ingesting, but more from just tending to the animals within that area. But out of an abundance of caution, the Department of Agriculture decided to bring the key stakeholders together to see what we could do to ensure that we are keeping our people safe. And so I'm really excited because we've seen this partnership that's happened and proactiveness that's happened to ensure that any milk products coming into the Cayman Islands are more regulated, which they weren't before. Thankfully, our providers were already being smart, and they were only bringing in pasteurized milk, which is what we want going forward. But it was good to hear that they were already doing it and now looking to work with the Department of Agriculture to put some regulations in place to ensure that we keep it that way.
Okay. I think, Mr. Critchlow, that notion of, I go back to what I think may have been your predecessors and former Dr. Jackman and the like, the idea we're doing these things to put on the table for the Cayman populace as safe a product as possible. And it's no longer just sort of self-regulation, it's, laws that we enforce rigorously.
Yes, of course. We do enforce regulations of importation of meat and meat products, and we have for years under the Animals Act. As we said, the dairy products, we were never formally regulated before because the understanding was, and this is what was confirmed when we met with our stakeholders, that they were already bringing in pasteurized milk, which is the safest way to do this. It removes not only avian influenza, but other bacterial or other viral diseases that can possibly be transmitted through milk. So we were cognizant of this, but since this unusual situation, as the chief nurse said, occurred in the U.S., it's the first time that avian influenza has transmitted to cattle. It made us relook at the situation and want to revisit it, make sure that all the precautions were still in place, where the circumstances had changed. So we had done a background risk assessment and realized that the risk is relatively low, especially given that if it's pasteurized milk. But we met with the stakeholders and with our colleagues from the Ministry of Health and Department of Environmental Health, and basically consensus was that although there's no real risk of this, they were bringing in pasteurized milk already, it would be good to codify this now again in formal regulations. So we will now just add milk and milk products to our import conditions and our import permits and set the appropriate conditions. So it is now more formally regulated than before. Yes.
And is it just for clarity? It doesn't matter the country of origin. Once it enters here, it has to meet these new regulations.
That is our intention, yes. The concern right now is the avian influenza is only in the U.S., but in terms of that is not the only, as I said, potential thing that can be transmitted with milk. So yes, in this case, you would want to encompass all imports to make sure they're all meeting the same high standards. So we would add that to the conditions, yes.
And although we want to be very respectful of the conversation and of your time, I want to ask as well, so the public understands, part of your inspection process, whether it's plants or pets, whether we're bringing in meat products or the like, we're doing this for the public safety. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's spleen and Lyme disease, and they're seeing some things, that's in spleen, but who knows how that could for down the road and across. So we're trying to make sure our shores are safe, right?
No, for sure. I mean, that's where this all came from, is ensuring that the public is safe, that the quality of the products that we are bringing into the country are going to ensure that people don't get sick. I mean, that's what we're trying to prevent. And they've done it for meat for quite some time, and now adding milk is just an added precaution. Thankfully, like I said, our current providers have already been doing that. We're also looking at hard cheeses as well, making sure that's what's coming in. So it's, we're, minimizing those soft cheeses that might still have bacteria alive in them that could potentially. So we're looking into all those things. We haven't fine-tuned everything. We're working with the key stakeholders. We're ensuring where they get their product from is of the standard that we want, so that they know what that standard is, how long it needs to be pasture, the temperature it needs to be at, so that it's one standard across the board for any importer into the island of milk products. And that would include like baby powder and cheeses, baby milk in that regard. Sorry, not baby powder, baby milk. The powdered milk. Powdered milk. Powdered milk. And so just really, like I said, it's like super excited because we don't have any cases here. So I want to make that clear. We have not seen it here. We have the ability to test on island, and we have not found it in our cows or on island. So we're safe right now. And this is just an added layer of protection for our people to ensure that standard is set from going forward.
And if I could expand on that, as I said, part of our regulatory framework includes, as you said, you mentioned not only meat products, but also plants and plant products. And we look at the entire gamut. We look at the potential for introduction of pests or disease organisms that could affect not only our agricultural sector, our environment, but our native flora and fauna, and of course, by extension, our human population, because there are a lot of zoonotic diseases that can affect animals and translate to humans. So when we do our regulation, whether it's under the Plants Importation Act or under the Animals Act, the goal is to safeguard the Cayman Islands and to safeguard not only, as I said, the agricultural sector, safeguard the natural environment, safeguard our flora and fauna, but of course safeguard most importantly our human population, as I said, from potential introduction of any zoonotic diseases.
Now, for the public that's listening, and I'm hoping that we pay attention, I want to maybe ask two additional things. One, the regulations. For us, we're listening. What do we need to be concerned about? I mean, you're going to do what you need to do. So does there anything involved to get this to where we want to go, so that our safety, health, and well-being?
I would say there's two parts of that I want to tackle. Yeah. So while we're in the Cayman Islands, I think I would say to the listening public to be mindful that the regulations that are coming in place are meant to keep people safe. So there will be that population that would like to bring in their own special cheeses from someplace special, and maybe there may be some questions in there. We haven't fine-tuned all of that yet. So bear with us and be gentle to us in the fact that we're doing the best we can to ensure their health and the health of the people around them and their families. But other than that, they just have to bear with us and abide by the laws, because we're doing it for their safety. And then the second thing I would say is, if we do have people, as we're going into the summertime with vacation, be mindful of what you're consuming when you're off island, because especially if a lot of our people are flying to the U.S. to have time, buy the pasteurized milk, buy the hard cheeses, just take that extra level of precaution while you're away, just to safeguard for yourself and your family.
And that speaks, sorry, Mr. Christoph.
No, go ahead. Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah, that speaks to many of us as the consumer. So in absence of that sort of connoisseur who's going to, for whatever reason, import that special thing just because we can. Most of us are going to the supermarkets, to our usual vendors, and we're buying the product. We probably have labored without even thinking under the premise that, it's on the shelves, therefore it's safe, because they've been responsible. That can still continue, Mr. Christo, with an added level of sort of
Oh, of course, yes. And I want to stress that. I say when it comes to regulation of imports, we always try to work closely with the stakeholders. And our goal in regulation, whether it's agricultural products or this, is to balance that risk factor, whether the risk being to the, our human consumer or to the livestock or to the crop side, balance that with, we recognize the importance of maintaining trade, because we have to be able to maintain trade. We have to import goods. So we always want to make sure we're striking that balance where we're protecting the community, but still allowing, of course, course, for fair and open trade and people to access whatever goods. So I think when you go to a commercial supermarket, yes, there's different levels. You're confident that, again, in case of meats and coming with milk and other products, that they have had to go through the import permit process. And this is how it basically works. We create a set of conditions, and then these have to be met through when you apply for an import permit. That sets the standards. And all our commercial importers would already have import permits for their fresh produce, for the meats, for their other products, and they would be adhering to these standards. So you can be confident of safety.
All right. So from the public's perspective, when do we expect these new regulations to take effect?
And that's the beautiful thing. So they can take effect as we fine-tune things. However, as we mentioned earlier, our current local distributors on island have already been following these guidelines, which is why we can say we're safe and we don't have any here, because they were already only bringing in pasteurized. It's not like it wasn't happening and now they're changing it and there may be some things. It's nothing like that. It was already safe already. Thankfully, they were doing that already. And now we're just adding some legislation legislation was in place, some guidelines to the current import license to just ensure that that's a standard in case there's a new provider tomorrow.
Yes. Or the only thing, as I said, we asked about the general public. I mean, the only impact would be if you yourself, Sterling, suddenly want to go out and start importing milk or cheese, then under the new conditions, you may have to apply for an import permit.
Right.
So that you are aware of what the conditions are and aware of what you're bringing meets those conditions.
And I'm glad you referenced that in Ms. Felicia's sort of caution as we travel, you know, where we going, look at what we're consuming, especially now with that potential risk. I think is quite commendable that we have importers who have such a high sort of regard, do such a great, attempt at making sure the products that we have on our shelves are good. We probably don't appreciate it unless we travel or we have people who say, wow, you have this here, and they're from some country with, hundreds of thousands or tens of millions.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, again, just for emphasis, it doesn't matter if the product is coming from the U.S. or the region. If it's coming to our shores, it needs now to ensure that it meets these safety standards, irrespective if it's from the region, North America, across the pond.
That's the guideline that we're working towards, yeah. Yeah.
And I will emphasize what Chief Nurse says, that in the U.S., for instance, there is a possibility. They do allow, certain states in the U.S. do allow the sale of unpasteurized milk. Interestingly, it can only be sold within the state and it can't move across state lines. But it is allowed. So you have to be, if you're traveling to certain places, yes, you need to exercise your own caution when you're in these environments.
And it's not a political discussion. It's only something that, if you're affected by it, that you understand. Now, we may know the consumption of a drug, whether it's alcohol or legalized marijuana. In that state, it's okay at 18 if it's the state laws, or 21. But moving it from one state to the next, you're not really in the United States. You're subject to state control. I say that to Auckland as we look in the Cayman context, appreciating that something coming in, does it now meet our criteria to ensure the safety of our people, irrespective that it may have, in this case, the USDA, seal of approval. If it doesn't meet with us, it's for us to make sure that it meets whatever standard we set.
Absolutely correct. Yes. So the importer, when we set the standards, the importer is fully aware of the standards, and then the importer will work with their suppliers to make sure they're meeting the standards, and these will be checked and monitored.
To Ms. Felicia's sort of comment, that connoisseur, for want of a better word, is going to have a nice wine and cheese party and decides that we can source particular cheeses, because the world is flat these days. We can get that thing that is only available some places at some times of the year, and if you have the right connections and the funds, you can get it. So that person wants to do this thing. It's not for sale. It's just a fundraiser. Maybe it's just a show off on a Sunday, whatever. Going to bring that cheese, that other dairy product, those uncured meats. They did it before. How do they do it now? Any different?
That's a good question. There's something we're looking at, but I mean, again, you touched on one case. If you want to bring something, Sterling, you mentioned it in a way that you're consuming yourself and you're aware of the risk that you're taking in terms of consuming a product, and it's a very small quantity that you're consuming. Sometimes these can be considered for exemption. That's different if you're suddenly hosting an event or you're hosting a gathering where other people may not be aware of the risks that's involved because you are now sharing a product with them. In that sort of situation, you would definitely want to ensure the regulation, that everybody's meeting the regulation, so you're protecting the environment. So the possibility of allowing exemptions for very small quantities for personal consumption, where you are aware aware and you're making as an adult an informed decision, this is something that we're looking at. We don't have an exact answer for you yet, and we're discussing it along with the medical team and ourselves to make sure what's appropriate in this area.
And I only, for two reasons. One is, I think in mind is a good thing to have, but there are people who we know in our communities who, affluence can be an affliction. You can choose how you want to define that. But there are those of us who do that, for different reasons. So in that instant, just for, not to belabor it, but just for absolute clarity, if a person is opting to do that, they're now gone to their importer, they're clearing it, through their, broker or whatever. That thing will still go through the inspection, go through all the things, and ensure that it meets the criteria, even if it's small quantity for a small gathering.
Of course, yes.
Okay. Right.
And like we said, we just ask them to be patient with us. We are looking at both the quantity that we allow in for personal use, and then anything outside of personal use or anything larger than what we then deem would then be subject to the regulations that we put in place, whatever, to ensure. And like we said, we're not doing it because we don't want someone from some other part of the country. It may not be affluent. It may just be they're from that part of the world, and they get theirs a different way. We just want to ensure that whatever's coming into the island is safe for consuming for the mass population, not, and that's what we want to just safeguard the people.
Yeah. I'm only going to speak to what you shared. People have questions, they can ask you how they can reach out. But we're talking about meat and dairy.
Dairy.
So
meat was already regulated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now we're adding dairy and dairy products and cheeses.
Okay. And I didn't do particularly much attention in biology. By extension, I think outside of economics, accounts, and law, I probably didn't pay much attention. Maybe history, maybe math, maybe English, maybe lit. Those sciences I didn't pay. Okay. All jokes aside. So dairy would be, for those of us who know, stuff that come from seeds and...
No, this is milk and milk products. That's what you're going to hear me talking about. Milk products.
Milk and milk products,
and baby powder.
I gotta take back that comment I gave you when you first came in. Now you know.
No, I'm back down to the left. No, I'm just hoping that people hear this, understand what it is we're trying to say. We want you to be safe. So if you have cheeses, if you have milk, you go to your regular grocer, and there's some here that have fantastic cheeses. I won't say it to anybody, but enjoy them.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they, like I said, our importers were already being smart, and they were already bringing things on that were safe. And they confirmed that to us when we had a meeting at the beginning of all of this, brought them to the table, and they said, this is what we're bringing in already, and we were already restricting it to pasteurized products. So what you see in the shelves, by and large, from all that we've checked, would be safe. And so go right ahead and enjoy it. The question is, going forward, if you did have someone wanting to bring in unpasteurized cheese or a particular large amount of soft cheeses, which is normally unpasteurized, we would have concerns, especially if it's from the U.S. We're looking at everywhere, but especially from the U.S., because right now we know the U.S. has this influenza virus happening there. And we're trying to minimize that coming into our country because it would make you feel really, really sick, and we don't want anyone sick. We want everyone to stay healthy. So we're just protecting, and we're being proactively doing that.
And you said avian influenza.
Avian influenza.
Which would mean normally it was birds.
Correct.
Right? And I think
this is the first time it's moved across species barriers. Yes, it's traditionally been associated with birds, but this is now moved to mean being picked up in cattle. Yes.
From the birds to the bovines.
Yes.
Okay, so do we see then? Because some cheeses come from goat or from sheep. Is that a concern?
Not a concern at the moment with avian influenza, but again, as I said, that is not the only organisms that can pass. So I think the regulations would apply across to all sort of things.
I certainly don't want to conflate, and I do not want to confuse anybody, but we've seen dietary choices from some people who are using non-dairy like products for, I don't know if you can call it cheese, but cheese-like stuff. So made from nuts and made from other things.
Nothing, no.
No concerns.
No concerns there.
None whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to pretend to understand what pasteurized mean. And, Mr.
It
Pasio.
means stuff that's been heated to a certain level.
Yeah, it kills,
which kills everything.
Kills everything. Kills all the bad
probably
bacteria.
Taste and everything else. But anyway.
No.
You might drink your cow's milk and stuff now already, and all of that's pasteurized, and people enjoy that. You can barely keep it on the shelves, is what I see it. So I think everyone is safe, and like I said to the public, just bear in mind, stay tuned. If anything was to change, or if we have any more information to put out there after the fact, we will use the press briefings and the social media. And thanks to Radio Cayman for this time as well, just to share. Like I said, we just wanted to ensure people were informed about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And at the end of the day, it's to keep people safe. That is our goal.
Well, I hopefully am trying to be jovial, that levity aided in our learning. But I'm really grateful that we see an example where as you talk about stakeholders, we're not working in silos. As we look at the commercial landscape, we see that our importers have to date been, above board, commendable effort in ensuring that the products that are at our shores, as much as we may complain sometimes, it's an incredible job relative to many jurisdictions, not just in the region, where we I think Mr. Christo, without exaggeration, heads and shoulders above many in terms of what we do.
Yes, I think we have a very good system here, and we're very proud of it, yes.
I think that's too often we discredit and disrespect what we have, and by disparaging, we deny what we have, and this is one where I love cheeses. You may not agree with me, but I tell you, man, I can go and get a sample, I can go buy a ton, and I can enjoy every bit comfortably. We're just reminding us, be conscious of what's
just
happening.
keep buying, especially here in Cayman. We've done all we can do and continue to do things to ensure what's in the islands is safe. If you happen to be traveling, especially to the U.S., be more mindful there of the cheeses you choose or the milk you choose to ingest. But within the Cayman Islands borders, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, we feel really good that we're safe here at this point in time. And if anything was to change, we're right on it because we have the ability to test on island and to safeguard. But we're taking steps to ensure that we don't have to worry about that particular problem.
But thank you for adding one of continued list of things for our safety and wellness when it comes to our foods and things that we consume. I can say without any question, we're here to help you get your message out. And to people, like Mr. Crislow, who enjoy cheese, right?
Yeah, certainly. And sir, if I could steer 1 minute of your time, very 1 minute, and I know you appreciate agriculture and going slightly off topic, but in promoting agriculture and local products that are tasty, I just want to push out and take the opportunity to say that we are once again holding our agro-processing course, which we've held on 3 occasions to train people in the cottage industry how to make safe, wholesome jams, jellies, sauces, pickles, all these things. And the course is going to be running from the 15th to the 19th of July. We still have slots available on the course. So anybody who's interested in learning how to take their fresh agricultural products and turn them into value-added, very tasty, high-quality local products that they can consume, sell to their friends, or even sell to our visitors. The course will be taking place, as I said, from the 15th to the 19th of July. So just please call us at the Department of Agriculture, 947-3090, to book your place on the course.
And thank you. And I gather that the backyard course that you had recently was heavily subscribed.
It's been heavily. So we've done about 5 different cohorts, and it's been very popular every time, yes.
And as you said that now, mentally and physically, as we driving through our country, mangoes galore, right? So if we could literally harvest them, they could become jams, jellies, purees, all sorts of things.
Everything. Come out the course and you'll learn how to do it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you'll know how to safely take that fallen mango and use it or discard it. All right. So from the pasteurized cheeses
to the mango jams, which I love. Just saying.
Hey. Listen, I have some in the fridge, man. My sister, I was following her because I usually don't make it. Can I use the word boil down instead of boil? I let it go down as low sometimes because then I get more. But I decided to let it go down. That has a thick consistency. It is.
Unless you're bringing me a jar, you need to stop talking about this because you're just making me very, very hungry for some mango jam.
hey. That is so good, right? It's the best I've ever made.
Wow.
That I'm had in the fridge for so long, I'm afraid to use it.
You gotta savor it.
Oh man!
Well, Sterling, we invite you to come on the course. We can teach you other things besides the mango jam. Next, and you'll be making hot sauces, and you'll be making chutneys, and you'll be making all these other things.
So take some mango and some good hot peppers, and you can do a nice sauce, right?
There you go. Exactly.
And I'm being told that I'm a willing student. I'll leave that for now.
I'm going to be a taste tester, but sounds like a willing student. Sounds good.
I prefer the taste testing, but thank you all for laughing with us. But thank you for sharing the knowledge in a timely way, and hopefully our people would appreciate the importance of what the health ministry does in conjunction with the Department of Agriculture. Through DEH and all of the other entities, working to our betterment. So thanks very much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah. Anytime, anywhere, if there's food involved, you don't need to call me twice, man. I'll bring a friend. All right. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. If I get in trouble after you leave, that's on me.
All right. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to pause, and my schedule says, well, I don't know what it says, but it's going to be open line. So DJ Lynn across the table, and I'm on this side, and if any luck, I'll turn the camera on him, and I'll be the microphone. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Are you ready to step into the future? Digicell's super-fast 5G network is here. Experience more lightning-fast speeds, more seamless connectivity, and more possibilities available with all Digicell bundles. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working, our 5G technology takes your experience to a whole new level. The future is here. Visit any of our stores today and join Cayman's super-fast 5G network. Digicell. Better connected.
Introducing the new Shoreline iMap. Discover over 300 plus public shoreline access points in the Cayman Islands by using a new digital interactive map of all the public access pathways and beaches. Test out the new Shoreline iMap today and get walking or driving directions, see 360-degree street views, and find out what amenities are available at any shoreline access point found on the iMap. Dive into a world of coastal beauty and adventure. Use the Shoreline iMap today by visiting gov.ky/shoreline. Presented by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much. It's going to be open line for the remainder of our program. A couple of messages I want to share. And as we take the calls, a quick reminder, again, on behalf of the Acting Director, Department of Agriculture, Mr. Chris Lowe, and the Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean, that, we're doing all we can and all we do to ensure the health and well-being of our people. And now, relative to the dairy products, ensuring that they're pasteurized as they come into the country. Small as the risk may be now, in terms of avian flu passing from the the birds, as it were, to the cows and the like, well, we're doing what we can. Good to see those efforts. Well, let's take this call. I got an announcement on behalf of the Treasury counter, but let's take this call. Welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Don't rub that mango jam in now, okay, please?
Hey, listen. I am so glad, right, that my parents, but my mama in particular, and a few of my sisters, were so patient in allowing me to, come into the kitchen, not only pay attention, but try my hand at it.
Stir it in the hardest part of it, eh?
Yeah, boy. And then afterwards, after you, what mama say, parcel it out, you get a pot and you can get to enjoy it before you clean it up.
Don't mention a couple loaves of homemade biscuits or dinner rolls.
Yeah, I love being in the kitchen, man. That's as you can tell. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the best places, man. The most intimate of spaces. Cooking together.
Yes, but I like that real Cayman mango jam. I do not like that watery one. I don't like that yellow looking one. I don't like that white sugar looking one. I want that brown sugar. And when you try to take it out of the bottle, you got to twist your hand to wring it out.
I'm telling you, man, I am so, this one came out so spectacular. And my sister said, just take it down a little bit longer. Keep it low and let it go for a little bit longer. And she's sweet and she's brown. And I am talking about mango jam. Okay, so I don't want to bother.
Don't say no more. Leave it alone.
There you go.
Leave it alone.
Yes, ma'am. All right, but thank you for sharing.
You're doing okay, though?
I am, thank God. I am. How about you?
Good there. Above ground's a good day in the Caymans, You probably don't want me to say Cayman, but...
well, now that you know, that's what I want you to say. You got to do it so.
I don't know where I get this from, the Caymans. I don't know where I get that from, but I have it. I can't help it. You gotta have you gotta have a little twist once in a while. That kind of way.
Well, yeah. I got leave that be for now. But
yeah, like Barker.
Well, you see, that is so. I'm so grateful that you would share that. And as we chat with you and take the other callers, we live in Cayman, right? And it's a beautiful place, so much so that many have come here from far afield, that we have almost everyone from everywhere here. And the more that we respect and recognize what we have, the more that we can value, celebrate, and appreciate, the healthier our society will be if we are united. I'm going to be guided by this. I invite anybody to take me to task, to ensure I say it correctly, so that I'm not only accurate but respectful. And
but Sterling, I went down in Barcus the Easter time. I didn't have a clue that was such a long drive in. And to see where they had, I didn't call for this, and to see how they had called themselves cleaning up the area so that people could go in there and enjoy themselves, But I looked at it and I said, no way in the world that I'm going to leave my house to go down there and lock up, because it could have been organized a lot better than what they had there for us. It's like they were sending the wolves down there to have a good time.
Okay.
And my people worth more than that, My people worth more than that. But it is what it is. Easter's already gone, so let's see what next Easter going to bring, God's willing.
Okay.
Sterling, I called you on several occasions, and I think OC's well too, in regards to those spikes down on the 7 Mile stretch there.
Right, along the roadway.
I've been complaining about that for some time. And now I was on the West Bay Road this morning, and they're gone. They're gone from the whole stretch of the 7 miles, which is good, and I'm quite sure it took a majority of the people of the island who care and love this country why they were taken down. So, Sterling, if we really can stick together, we can get things done. So it's not a one-man win out there for those spikes to be taken down. Everybody that was very unpleased about them and complain about them, everybody, kudos to everybody.
But you say they're gone, because now I still see, and I was looking for what someone said is the correct name. I know where to look for it. I'll try to find it. But you're talking about these little, vertical sticks in the ground that is now cemented almost.
Yes, exactly, yes. So they got them all taken up now, walk the whole left-hand side all the way down to get to the public beach. So they're all taken down.
Because even after you pass the governor's residence, along that stretch, there's some on both sides of the road. They're all gone now, you say?
On the left-hand side going on. I didn't came back that way, but I think they're just about all gone. But I know on the left-hand side to shore, it was nothing up there this morning.
Well, God's willing, I'm going to take a drive on that side on the way down, because the last I did it, and I thought that was today's only Wednesday, and I thought that was this week, and they were still there, and it's a safety hazard.
It is, and it's a disrespect to the people of this island as well, to knowing that where they had those spikes, I call them.
Yeah.
That is part of government road. And nobody has the right to go and put those spikes down to keep us from going through these little track roads to get to the beach when you had all this access to the beach.
Yes,
I mean, they got us a bunch of idiots, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm asking people. What can this government come in can give us to satisfy us, knowing that everything is taken away from us practically? But anyhow, you stick a pin right there.
Okay.
I'm sure someone gonna want to talk about it. Sterling, I was flipping through my TV last night and came across American Got Talent. And it was this farm up there from the Philippines, and the people questioned them and asked them if they was to win, what would they do with the money? You know what their words was? They would buy a big house, because it's 10 of them living in one house back home in the small. 10 people at this day and age is in one house. And if they was to win that money, they would buy themselves a bigger home to put everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sterling, you see, when I'm not here degrading anybody, don't get me wrong, but I saw one documentary one time where they would even go to the cemeteries and take down the walks and stuff and turn them into little rooms to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
Some part of down there, where down there, I'm not sure now, so don't ask me, because I don't know. But to see that we brought these people here, and they're doing the same thing here with the 10 and 12 and 15 people and taking turns and sleeping, got their laundry hang out on bar wires, and your fencing that you got your yard fence off with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we are not accustomed to some people's lifestyle. And then again, like we don't have no guidelines here on the island. Do you remember some years ago? I don't know if it still goes on. When you go in a subdivision to live, you bought a house in a subdivision, you can't put no clothesline up. You can't add no piece onto your property, and some other things you couldn't do. Because I know when I got my friend called home in Newlands, I couldn't do nothing to that house.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't even rent it. But I told them, I said, I'm paying this mortgage, and I can't tell me I can't rent my house. And you know what they got to tell me? Well, if I rent it, I got to stay on island to see what's going on with my house. Can you imagine? But, it was what it was at the time. Thank God that's all behind me now. But Sterling, is the hurricane season. I'm going to give South Sound Road an example. There's a lot of trees in people's private yard that if nobody is seeing that they are being trimmed from over that main street, that it could be an exit if it's needed coming from the east side or from the water side back up to the east side, depending on the weather. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is taking those trees in control in the people's property. I don't know who has to go, what law has to be put there for these people to maintain their trees from being, especially over our main streets.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I got more, but I got to see one more.
Uh-huh.
Sterling, in the hurricane season, do we have any sand piles throughout the island? They can go there with shovels and bags and put sand in it. Do we have that going on here in Cayman?
No, I don't think that we have. I mean, I know some of the hardware stores either sell the bags empty.
Yeah, you buy the bags. But government, does any part of the government or any organization do an organization of
not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. All right. Well, thanks, huh?
I figured, All righty.
All right. Well, talk to you again soon, okay? All right. Thanks. And we take the next call. All right. After the break, to the caller, respectfully, we'll join you right after.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
Our climate is changing, and so is Cayman. Stronger and more frequent hurricanes, longer periods of drought, sea level rise, and higher temperatures are already impacting our communities. If we take nature into account before we act, we can harness nature's benefits and reduce the devastation caused by natural disasters. Because when we put nature front and center, nature can provide the solutions.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And it's open line. Thanks to the caller for hanging on just then. And go to the phones. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hello. Good afternoon, Sterling. How are you?
Excellent. How about you?
I'm good. And it's pretty decent up here so far today.
I think
no craziness yet.
It's always decent.
But it hasn't been though. Anyway, the last caller, she made a lot of valid points, Miss I forget her name all the time. Anyway, she made a lot of valid points, and with respect to what this country is in dire need of right now, that needs to be formulated, is like city ordinances. And I guess you would call it city ordinances or island ordinances. That way you have an agency assigned to deal with those sort of things, ensuring that yards are not turned into garbage dumps and ensuring that, people aren't got bright spotlights in their yard shining in your house at night.
Right.
And disturbing your peace because they want to make sure that you can see their house from space.
The space station.
And also, dogs barking constantly because they're tied into their yards, and irresponsible animal owners are not ensuring that their animals are well maintained and kept so that they're not in such distress that they bark all night. People can't sleep. Children can't sleep. They have school. They have work. These are the things that we have got now to elevate this country up to. We're still down in the gutter. We're not nowhere near where we should be at this time or this age or at this year. We are very much backward, very much behind, and it's as if everyone that we hire to work for us in the government puts on these blinders the minute they walk into the government building, and they don't see what is actually taking place because it's not maybe affecting them right away or, immediately, or any of their families being affected by it. And I'm sick of people in our government working on that notion. If it's not bothering my family, I'm not doing anything about it. You all work for the people of this country. You can't just have those kind of blinders on ever. You need to open up your eyes, see what's taking place, get out here and deal with it. It's like, for example, the DEH up here. Now you tell me, I'm going to tell you this, how it goes. There is a particular yard right here on the bluff on the Stake Bay Road that's taken past Songbird heading to Bluff Road West. That house, this is the second time now I've been sent photos of the yard and the exterior around their garbage can on the outside. This is the stuff why we need these city ordinances. It looks like a mini dump has been created outside this house every time. And nobody in the house that lives there comes outside and cleans up all this garbage. I just went there to see it again for myself because I don't take people's word for things. I have to go see for myself. And I'm again appalled that our DEH have to clean up garbage around people's yard on the exterior. That's not their responsibility. If your garbage is being destroyed by an animal that's in your neighborhood, then you go to Bernard's and you buy those garbage cans that have the lids and put your garbage in it. That way, you snap it down and they won't be able to get into them and get it and have it all over the place. It makes the place look bad. And this is what that lady was talking about. And we do need city ordinances and fine people when they give you a notice. You got X amount of weeks to clean this up. And if they don't, fine them. And if they don't pay the fine, add that fine as a tax on their property, as a lien on their property. And if they decide they want to sell it in the future, well, all the fines the government have hit on that property will still exist. Even if that property is on a mortgage, we need to write legislation now that the banks have to say yes. They can't own it 100% and say, you can't be a second chargee or a third. No, they can't. When you're disobeying the ordinances of this country and got a place looking like a freaking mini Mount Trashmore, then you need to pay. If you don't pay the fine, government stamps it on as a tax onto your property, and then if you decide to sell it in the future, the government has to be reimbursed. For all of these fines.
I hear you, right? And on the face of it, a lot of it, in a sense, would be things you might want to consider in terms of public safety or aesthetics and the like. But let me ask, you reference ordinances. Would you want in your society a space where legislation dictates not only the personal ethos, work ethic, but also the way society engages with each other? Or would you want, for it to be that people are, how should we put it, sensible, considerate? You say you can't legislate for morality. So would you want your government to be able to come into your private yard and dictate, or would you want people to already have that sort of inculcated ethos where there's a sense of self-respect and appreciation for neighbor and wider community?
Sterling, anyway, what I'm saying is,
I hear you, but
yes, I do want you to come into my yard if you're not going to clean it up.
Okay.
I want you to go into my yard if you're not going to keep that yard clean and aesthetically clean and avoiding rodents and all of the other stuff that builds up and mosquitoes and all the other stuff. Because when you harbor nastiness in your yard, it's filtering into the neighborhood.
Right.
It's affecting everyone in that neighborhood.
No, but you are right, and we do have legislation on the public health laws. We have public and private nuisances where those things can be enforced when they're recognized. So it comes into enforcement. But what I'm asking is, to what extent do we want that heavy-handed approach of government? Today it may sound good, but what if it's a politically motivated, as we have seen in other jurisdictions, and all of a sudden, you're being, in your mind, not you personally, targeted, singled out because you have written something, said something, been a former, advocate for something.
If we don't get our country organized and cleaned up, it's already looking like a mountain of a dump. It's a nasty situation. People do not clean up their yards, and don't you interrupt me again, because what's his name puts me on mute.
Sorry, no, it's not about interrupting you. It's about getting you to appreciate because of my respect for your intellect, right? Let me share this with one of our listeners. Writes, say you are so true. Lots of people, and for me the plural of the word person is people. So lots of people have these properties that are so overgrown that I for sure have to be cleaning up their mess, which the trees throw off. And you are right. And my question is, to what extent will we recognizing, as the caller shared, that there are, if I can use Mr. Bryan's, the Minister of Tourism's words, a lot of nasty behavior, when he was referring to people just discarding their derelict vehicles along the roadways. We need to have that, All right. So we take the WhatsApp call. All right. After the break. All right. To the WhatsApp caller. We'll join you after the break. Stay tuned.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. On Wednesday, June 26th, the Cayman Islands government will officially open its Asia office to establish and deepen strong public and private sector relations throughout the region. Deputy Premier and Minister for Financial Services and Commerce, the Honourable Andre M. Ebanks MP, the ministry's Chief Officer Dr. Dax Basteo, and Government's Deputy Representative for Financial Services to Europe, Julie Campbell, will travel this weekend to attend the commemorative reception at Swissôtel the Stamford in Singapore. In international news, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission has referred a complaint against TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance over potential violations of children's privacy to the Department of Justice. The FTC says its own investigation uncovered reason to believe that the firms are violating or about to violate the law. In a statement to BBC News, a TikTok spokesperson said they were disappointed by the decision. A mysterious monolith has appeared in the Nevada desert over the weekend, sparking speculation as to what it may be and who is behind it. The structure was spotted by the Las Vegas Police Department, who said they saw it during a search and rescue mission north of the Las Vegas Valley. The monolith is similar to other similarly puzzling ones that appeared around the globe in 2020. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Cayman Islands, your input can shape our future. Plan Cayman needs your input on the updated planning statement to create a sustainable community for everyone. Help shape Cayman's future by participating in public consultations with the Central Planning Authority and the Ministries for Planning and Sustainability. Together, we can build a thriving Cayman. For details and to find the meeting closest to you, visit plancayman.ky. Your voice matters. Let's plan Cayman together.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And to the last call, I guess she disconnected. And, we just want to engage. We want to embrace people and challenge sometimes the thought process to elicit, further edification. We do have another call. As we take that call, just a quick reminder that on this Friday coming, the 28th, thank my team here for giving me this information as I look at it. At the Treasury cashier counter. The accountant general advises that the Treasury cashier counter closes to the public 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on this Friday, the 20th of June, for a staff briefing. The Treasury's cashier counter is going to reopen for business at 10:30, right after the briefing. Of course, on behalf of the Treasury, minute sort of closure will make cause, but it's going to reopen at 10:30 a.m. on the Friday. So we'll remind you of that as we take this next call on our WhatsApp. Hey, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, the artist extraordinaire. How are you, man? How are you?
Doing good, sir. Doing good so far, Just listening and getting a lot of information. I love it.
Likewise, man. Thank you.
Yeah, health is a very important thing for us, especially living on a little island. We got limited resources and stuff like that. We don't really live on a plant-based diet, on a carnivorous mentality.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about our health when it comes into the foods that we eat, other than vegetarians' strict diet. I was thinking about like what the Bible would say, like they list out the certain meats that are unclean, and it reminds me of the one reason why I don't like to eat ham. And ham is also it has a preservative inside of it, sodium nitrite. And I actually kind of confused if it's sodium nitrite or nitrate, but because I don't eat it, I don't really read the labels too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember it all. Both of those are related, but it is linked to development of heart disease and diabetes. And the color of the meat is influenced through this sodium nitrite, and also it's like a poison. So it's on small increments. They put it in like 150 parts per million, so it's not even that much detective. You can't really detect it per se, but it's evident. And also with that, it reminds me of Alzheimer's diseases, which is also a cause of it with through heart and blood circulation problems, and stroke and diabetes. So if just to lessen the risk of you getting these diseases, it could probably be something like just eliminating one thing out of your diet that you usually do. A lot of people go Subway to get the ham, cold cut ham, and I mean, eating meat cold enough is bad for me. I don't know how people use it, but I know a lot of people do eat ham sandwiches. They just bring the ham out of the fridge and put it in the bread and they eat it, right? Some put mayonnaise and whatnot. I don't know. Also, I was surprised to hear on the news with the Nevada thing, with the object that they found in the middle of the desert. There's a lot of artists out there now that are baffling people's minds, just to let people know about that. There've been a lot of social experiments that they dig holes in the sand just to hear that the scientists and the experts would say that this came from a meteor. And
talking about it, that monolith, you mean, that they've discovered, it just seemingly appeared overnight?
Right.
Okay.
I like those little things, because we got a lot of beaches on the island, and I've done my fair share of little messages on the beach, the SOS and please save us kind of thing.
Right.
Maybe someone might see it and know what to do, but I just say, sometimes we gotta speculate a little bit, because a lot of people in this public don't ask questions. They just do as they're told, like.
It just shows how accepting people can be of foolishness, right?
Right, just like the person that is afraid of independence, like if you go and leave your parents' house and tend to find a comfort and independence. And you see, you got a group of people in the country that is afraid of doing that. And does that mean that the rest of the island should follow along? Or is it healthy? You know, because it's obviously not that healthy. I mean, today we're forecast for Sahara dust, and I don't see any evidence of that. I mean, my car pretty clean still.
Yeah. Well, it's as I listen to you, I mean, this is why I think engaging with you and what I was hoping to indirectly with the caller prior, people like you, her, and others, and even though she didn't identify herself, you know, Miss Jan, who the caller prior to you was agreeing with, you guys think you have the courage to share, you know, from what you read, what you learn, what you question, and that may encourage other people. It takes a lot to be an active, engaged listener, but it's necessary for people to not only be informed about what's happening in their community, but to be involved, to become, you know, socially conscious, to do things that will benefit today, but also hopefully for generations to come. Things that are, you know, positive. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. I believe that a lot of our elders they need to sit down and listen a little bit more to their children. The elders have a lot of grandchildren, I would assume now. And it should be a time where they watch the children grow up again, and instead of watching themselves grow up, you know, because when you have it already, you know, it's hard to kind of give it away when you don't think about others, right?
Right.
So I guess that they have a few of them that don't have children or grandchildren to support, that they don't feel like it's necessary to think about those things. You know, it's just grow and cut down what is not living to them, because you know, the trees and stuff, they can't advocate for themselves. That's one thing they can't do. You know what they can do? They can help influence other things that could possibly lead to a disastrous moment, like Hurricane Ivan. You know, I am surprised a lot that people don't think about what happened to South Sound during Hurricane Ivan. I mean, people still believe that road was built on a solid foundation. So
well, I appreciate you putting it out there. I know we want to take the calls. I don't want to dismiss you, and I wish there's a way to have everybody there all they want as they want. But anything else you want to share before we take the next call?
No, that's all. I just wanted to see if I could start kicking some brains.
Yeah, well, you say something, I'm sure somebody somewhere is listening and maybe thinking. So thank you very much, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, enjoy your afternoon. Let's take this next call. Welcome. Thank you for sharing with us.
Mr. Sterling, how are you doing today?
Listen, man, thanks for asking. I am truly, truly grateful, and I'm going to take and make better as best as I can, whatever is and as I wish. You know what? I'm going to work hard, be prayerful and purposeful, and hopefully there'll be a positive impact, man. How are you?
Well, fantastic, man. I'm looking at this blueprint. It's a blueprint that I put together, designing a game, but it was formed through the interview that you had with you know, because I was just thinking, you know. The interview that you had with this other gentleman, what's his name? I don't want to call his name, but he was an artist. That was on the 18th of June. The interview that you had, and you know, it just had me thinking. So I was just designing, started to design this game now, and I want to get it copyrighted, protected, patented, whatever. Because it apparently it seemed workable.
This is when you talk about romantics.
No,
the robotics.
No, yeah, it was about robot. Was it? Let me see. I don't remember. I think his name was Mr. Johnson, though. Yeah. But however, it's a game that's it's a second game that I'm attempting. Well, I designed one before. So this would be the second one, though, that I promised that I would do. But it's a lot different.
Okay. Well, keep working, right?
But I want to ask something. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, ask.
I want to ask something because we gotta have different things. We Cayman, and here in Cayman we don't design cars. It's a lot of things that we don't do. But I want to ask a question though.
Of course.
Original games are made or designed by Caymanians. How many do we have in Cayman? Do you know about that?
Offhand, I don't. And as you were sharing that, we have the NPO office. We can protect our intellectual property, and we should. So you have a game that you design. Maybe you need to collaborate with somebody, but as you do, make sure you protect your interests, and speak to them over there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be as heavy as the first one, because sometimes the first design or invention that you might have might be like the computer is big, heavy, but this one is a lot lighter.
Yeah, man.
But I'm wondering. Well, you're giving me some good direction. What do you think about it? Next steps or etc.
Yeah, well, I can give you a shout off here, and I would share with you that you have, just generally you and everybody else, you have an idea, you find a way to first write it down, record it, put it in a space where you can develop it. If you're looking, as many of us have in the past, and not appreciating the potential value, it may not just be the money you can get from it, but the idea that you get deservedly so, the credit for inventing this thing, for improving this thing. And then through not just the patents and trademarks legislation that we have and registering your own, but you can protect your intellectual property and be rightfully sort of afforded that place in history. The office here is quite accessible. You may find that through a friend, family member, or legal counsel, the opportunity to speak and have that done in a way that protects you, and hopefully doesn't cause you a lot of expense, both financially and otherwise. So I'll give you a shout and we can talk about it. All right?
Yeah. So what I'm actually saying is listening to your interviews, it causes a lot of people to think, and from that develops a lot of things. I like the idea. When I was much younger, I used to say I like to make progress.
Yeah, man.
Like to make progress, but just listen to the interview caused me to think. It caused me to think a whole lot. So that's why I'm saying thanks to you all for having.
You're most welcome, man. You're most welcome.
Yeah.
And you know what? You've been inspired by it, hopefully others, and this is where we share, the successes of people, may inspire others to not just be motivated, but may continue with that disciplined approach and developing that thing and being very consistent and make a concerted effort. So I'm glad that you can, man, and keep it up.
But you know who's speaking, right?
Oh yeah, Mr. B, I got you, man, and I can give you a shout after. All right.
Okay.
Take care, man. Thanks too. We have a quick short break. We also have another call. And just a quick reminder that the Treasury counter on Friday, this Friday the 28th, is going to open at 10:30. There is the Treasury counter, the cashier at the counter, going to be closed from 9 to 10:30 on Friday morning. Reopening at 10:30. So the accountant general and the team over there extends their apologies for that 90-minute sort of closure to facilitate a staff briefing. So Friday morning, they're going to reopen at 10:30. Let's take this break, take the call, and let's have some fun.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash,
Make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Cayman, mark your calendars for the high-speed thrills of the third round of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock. Current division leaders Nixon McLean, Joshua Watler, Hayden Green, and Ryan Dixon look to defend their top positions on the open waters. But the rest of the pack is on the attack. Gather the family and enjoy a fun-filled day of thrilling races, delicious food, and cool treats. Admission is free. Be there to catch all the action live with the Cayman Islands Watercraft Association. Round 3 of the 2024 C1 National Tour. Sunday, June 30th at South Sound Dock, starting at 11 a.m. Proudly sponsored by Car City, Cayman Islands Coast Guard, Cayman Islands Fire Service, Pepsi, Fast Signs, J&M Equipment, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Party Animals, Sea Breeze Charters and Jet Ski Rentals, Verdant Isle Farm, Health City, Cayman Islands, National Logistics, Onshore IT, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, Radio Cayman, and Breeze FM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks to those who are listening, as well as those who are calling as we take this next call. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Dwayne.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm just chilling out, you know.
Man, good place to be. Good time to do it.
Yeah, just finished making some cakes and, planting my flowers.
Wow.
Got some black periwinkles.
Okay.
Which was a gift from my aunt, just so you know. Like, I didn't, Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted one of the main, not one of the main, but one of my main hustles on this island, trying to stay alive, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, boy, if you don't mind me saying, appreciate you sharing the cakes. Allow me to buy them sometimes. They're absolutely delicious, man.
Yeah, what we just dropped now was like, I think 4 or 5 coconut pineapple cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go into a restaurant now.
Yeah, man, yeah. They're all good, man. Hey, listen.
I can give you a piece if you want.
Listen, you know I always appreciate sharing, but you pass them along, and I'll share with people. You take them to the restaurants, and more people can enjoy it when they get the dessert. I think they should get a dessert first before the meal, but that's just a thought, you know. I'm gonna in short order, God's willing, I'm gonna go back into the kitchen and do a little bit more baking, but gotta make time, my friend. Gotta make time. Gotta deal with some of the stuff first, but we'll get there.
You know, it's fun making them, you know, but boy, fun eating them.
That's the interesting part. You know, I like to make it, and I understand why people go in their yards to garden. Why some people will sit on, on the dock and throw the line. The kitchen is a good place to be. You know, you got somebody, whether it's your partner, whether it's your sibling, whether it's your child. You just spend that time in the kitchen, safely and sensibly. Great conversation. You're putting something on the table, and literally, you're breaking bread, man. It's a good space to be.
Yeah, yes, sir. I see now. The last couple callers, and no offense, it just look like you got kind of like stop watching people's business. Try to make sure you watch your own business. Try to make sure you understand.
I think too many people touch us. If you don't know what I mean, then ask somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they touch it. I understand, man. Every little thing.
Yeah, man. And it's a one thing that we got to be respectful, right? We got to be loving and kind. We got to be considerate. We got to be, disciplined and determined. All those values and virtues are important, but you also got to be willing to stand in the gap, and you got to stand to your brother and say, listen, and like I said to some of my closest, it doesn't say this way in the scriptures, but this is how I apply it personally. I think, lead me not into temptation, for I shall find it myself.
All right.
I don't need you to help me go astray. I don't need you to help me to go down the path. We all know when we're doing wrong. We all know when we're off the path. We all know when, things not right. What we need you to do, not remind us. We need you to help us, guide us, nurture us, help whenever necessary, protect and provide. Help us to, do the right thing. And sometimes that means drawing alongside and saying, guy, you're going astray. What's wrong with you? All right? So, but we're not doing that because, one, we know if we say it to somebody, they could be offended because they're hearing the truth. And then we are also lacking courage to tell the brother, where to get off. But I just saying, you know what I mean?
No, that's completely true. And almost what we're going to lead up to is like, if you're not willing to help me, don't talk bad about me. Let me fix it. And then when I fix it, don't wait. Just wait now till something else bad to happen, or pray for something else bad to happen so that you can have something else bad to talk about somebody. That sounds like your life boring, man.
Yeah.
So that's why I just had to call and make sure. And another thing too is, boy, that guy you had up there, I think it was yesterday, the two politicians up there. I was going to call and I was going to ask him, say, boy, why you don't try to retire, man? Please, I mean, just. But I understand why it isn't, because you see, in this island life, they couldn't make it no other way other than what they're doing as a politician, which is like, kind of saying this and then doing that. They couldn't make it no other way in life, you understand? They couldn't make them more money that they have now. Like how I is now. They couldn't ever sweat for that.
Yeah.
So to me, that nobody really to follow. That's really nothing or anything I would look up to or try to say like, oh, I won't be like that, or I would even vote for that. And then this thing now again, like, we voting for the lesser of two evils. I'm not into none of that. And to the youth them that keep calling them, tell him, please keep calling, keep it up. You know what I mean? Because it could be a day that it could be nothing else to listen to other than him. And it's better that he try to get as much knowledge as he can about the island. You know what I'm saying? And to how humanity and how the human brain works. And on this island, you got a lot of experiences just waiting out there for you. You just got to step out. The more you think negative about something, the more you're going to get held back on this island. I'm telling you. If you go out there thinking you're not going to catch a fish, you're not going to catch a fish.
Positive, right?
Positive. If you go out there and you say you're going to catch the biggest bar out there, I guarantee you that bar out there waiting for your line, and he's going to plow as soon as you drop it up. And this is the thing now with these elder people. They living off of the younger people, and I just can't like live with that. Like, you know, it just seems really, really unfair. You know what I mean? And everyone of them got left hand driving. You can tell who it is.
It's, I think, as I listen to, I think it's a recognition that as we move through life, we have to move together. We got to recognize that we make space for those to come behind as we occupy in the space to be productive, right? So, before I take the last call, any final thoughts, or?
That's the last thing.
Yeah.
That thing about when you're born, you know, came on, Bobby need to fix that. Any politician that not with that can't vote for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dwayne.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. And let's take this final call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you today, man? Good to hear from you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you?
Hey, I hope that I'm always grateful and gracious, man. I am truly thankful, man. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Well, concerning the government and those people who continue to run for election
Mm-hmm.
and make it into the assembly
Mm-hmm.
and have the power to do whatever they need to help the people of the Cayman Islands. Well, right now we're into hurricane season again. And we don't even have one hurricane shelter in the Cayman Islands that we can call a hurricane shelter besides Cayman Bright. We don't have any trade schools for our young people. Northward is a disgrace. They're allowing CUC to raise their electricity rates every year during the summer. They're allowing the banks to do as they please. And then they talk about stress, depression, and anxiety, which can lead to suicidal thoughts. And the government seems to just, like they don't care. And when we know companies such as CUC goes up with their electricity rates, when we know when the bank goes up with their interest rates, the price of everything else goes up besides our wages.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak about the governments in the past and the present, and hopefully they'll do better in the future, because nobody never had any more power than McKeever Bush. And the power that this gentleman had, we could have had all these things sorted out the way that we need to, besides what the progressives did by signing that deal with CUC for 25 more years and allowing them to do as they please by allowing a politician who was an employee there before running for election to sign the new contract.
I hear you, man. And as you share that, I guess we're recognizing how important it is to be a part of that, agenda. And thanks for keeping it, man. Thank you so much for closing us out with your comments. All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Talk to you again tomorrow, God's willing, and the day after, and maybe much more to share and say. All right. It's a Wednesday. I want you as a caller just remind us to be, part of what's happening. Again, on behalf of the Accountant General and the team over at the Treasury, advisory that the Treasury counter for the cashier counter is going to close Friday morning from 9 a.m. Going to open back up at 10:30. There's a staff briefing. So for that 90-minute closure, apologies extended to our listeners and to all of the guests, clients. But it's going to open back promptly at 10:30 after the briefing. So please accept our apologies. Well, today is not just Wednesday, it's the 26th of June. If you ask my daddy, he will tell you that he can remember it clearly because he was born on the 18th, but he registered on the 26th, so therefore he celebrates the 26th, and therefore he says he gets 2 birthdays every year. Man, I admire greatly and love and only wish that I could be the 10th of the man. I'd be 100 times better. So as he celebrates his birthday today, with the encouragement of Miss Paulette, another wonderful daughter who sees a seafaring father as a source of inspiration, and like many of the seafarers have made an invaluable contribution to our country, and their sacrifice was seen as service. They didn't see it as a cost, but as an investment, and we honor, respect, admire, appreciate all that they have done. I think it's time why more of us now need to pick up the mantle and stand in the gap, stop beating up our gums, start appreciating that, they may say that no frightened, but the minute you speak out and stand with courage, they look at you as you xenophobic. Well, these are people who were not just Iron Men and wooden ships, but these were people who understood the importance of, fighting a good fight, not just with fists, but necessary, they would, as they settled their differences in ways that were meaningful. There were men who tested their mettle because of what they saw that mattered. If you're not able to do that, well, ask yourself why. Well, a song that I've selected, I like my father, and because of him, perhaps is why I like country and calypso, but country in particular. Here's one by Alan Jackson. Miss Paulette has picked 2 more since then that we want to play in succession. I thank the team here for allowing us to appreciate. You may not get the privilege and the pleasure as many to see into their 10th decade, and as he celebrates his 91st, hope many of us would appreciate the importance. This is an Alan Jackson selection. The older I get, boy, another song that come to mind, but let's leave that one for now. Tomorrow, let's be a part of what is important, because today we celebrate. Be blessed.